Hi, welcome to America Uncovered. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Imagine a pill that could unlock your full potential, turn you into a sort of super version of yourself, like going from plain old boring Mario to Super Mario, because you ate some strange mushroom and or glowy flower you found in a box. Unlimited focus, energy, memory, and occasionally vomiting fireballs. That's the promise of nootropics, or smart drugs, without the vomiting, hopefully. Perhaps you haven't heard of nootropics, but they're all the rage in Silicon Valley, on Wall Street, and even in Ivy League colleges. Because using Adderall to help you write your paper on underwater basket weaving was so 2014, guys. Nootropics are used by people who call themselves biohackers or brain hackers. This did become big in Silicon Valley, after all. They want to take control of their own biology to perform better. They do this in a lot of ways, through nutrition, meditation, even things like fasting, and of course, with nootropics. And if there's anyone who knows how to maximize human health and performance, it's the guy hunched over a computer 24/7. The term nootropic was first coined in 1972 by this Romanian scientist, who created the first synthetic one. He combined the Greek words for mind and bending. No one tell M. Night Shyamalan about this. But nootropics generally are substances that can enhance memory and learning, help the brain work under stress, protect the brain, make it easier for neurons to fire, and are non-toxic with few or no side effects. Wow, that sounds great! So what exactly are these magical brain-enhancing drugs that definitely have no possible downside whatsoever? Well, that's just it. What counts as a nootropic is rather vague. Technically, coffee is a nootropic. But don't think you're a biohacker just because you drink a cup of sugary coffee every day from the local breakfast food cart. A real biohacker spends countless hours poring over scientific reviews, research papers, and, the most convincing of all, anecdotal evidence about a variety of chemical compounds. Some of these are perfectly legal, and some, well, not so much. The goal? To create their very own custom stacks. Stacks can include a bunch of things taken together to improve how your brain works, from the fairly mundane to the unpronounceable, to prescription drugs to things as far out as microdosing LSD. Yeah, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds LSD. That's some real mind-bending. Those are all nootropics, as long as they alter the supply of neurochemicals, enzymes, or hormones in the brain to make you work better. So when the cops pull you over, just say, don't worry, that bag of white powder in the back seat is for enhancing human performance. At least, it supposedly improves performance. See, most nootropics aren't exactly approved by the medical community. With the exception of prescription drugs like Adderall, which you're not supposed to get unless you have a prescription, or illegal drugs, which you're not supposed to get at all, most nootropics are legally considered nutritional supplements, not medication. And nutritional supplements are not regulated or approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So if you are buying something under the vague term nootropics, the person or company selling them does not need approval from the FDA. They can make whatever health claims they want, and they don't even need to prove the safety or effectiveness before selling it. As long as you have this handy little disclaimer about how your statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. That's not to say that all nootropics are dangerous. Probably a lot of them are safe. It's like when you buy a carton of eggs from some guy online. Most of them are probably eggs. So a lot of online forums have sprouted up, with people sharing their own stories about what chemicals they've taken, in what doses, and what the results were. And that can be a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. On the one hand, there has evolved a vibrant community of passionate people who don't want to wait for 20 years of research and a seal of approval from the government or pharmaceutical companies to improve their lives. On the other hand, consuming those mystery pills you bought online from China because someone on Reddit recommended them maybe isn't such a great idea. That's funny, I thought the dodo bird was extinct. And what will happen when you take prescription drugs, like Adderall and modafinil, that were designed to treat people with ADHD and narcolepsy when you don't have those conditions? Some people have reported amazing results. They feel like their brains turn on for the first time in years, like that scene in The Wizard of Oz where everything changes from black and white to Technicolor. Others report the drugs made them feel foggy and leaden or caused alarming side effects. Like that scene from Trainspotting. Okay, nootropics are not like heroin. Some are like LSD. But even the natural supplements found in some stacks can be dangerous. Have you heard that ginseng is good for you? Well, I spoke with a prominent Chinese medical doctor in New York who said it's important that herbs like ginseng, which can be quite strong, are taken only in appropriate circumstances where it would be safe and beneficial to do so. Otherwise, it has the potential to make you worse rather than better. Others, like St. John's wort, can enhance mood, but could lead to the worst side effect of all: pregnancy. St. John's wort can stop birth control pills from working. Might want to check if that new wonder pill you bought online has some. Several types of nootropics, not just the prescription drug kind, are banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency, so watch out if you're a competitive athlete. There are more unknowns if you're under the age of 25, because your brain is still developing. And according to a leading neuroscientist at the University of Cambridge, we do not know the long-term consequences of the effects of these drugs on a healthy developing brain. Fortunately for me, my brain stopped developing years ago. But students in the US and UK are going to find out the long-term consequences. This study found that 18% of sophomores, juniors, and seniors at Ivy League colleges have used a prescription drug, often modafinil, to study for a test, write a paper, or take an exam. According to The Telegraph, about 25% of students at leading UK universities have taken modafinil to help them study, which is the ultimate rebellion against their hippie parents. They're doing drugs to do better in school. People who take nootropics or smart drugs aren't looking to escape reality. They're looking to enhance performance. And it must have some effect. According to a survey by the BBC, 92% of people who had tried a prescription smart drug said they'd do it again. The other 8% grew talons and could not respond to the survey. At no point in history have people been asked to perform at the levels we are today. People are looking for a boost to deal with insane levels of hyperproduction. Silicon Valley is the perfect example. When Instagram was acquired for $1 billion, it had 30 million users and just 13 engineers working on it. At least, I think it was 13. It was hard to see them over the mountain of empty Red Bull cans. So when does Silicon Valley's use of smart drugs become drug abuse? The addiction ladder is predictable. Uppers like Adderall to keep up with the production demands in 12-hour days, then downers like oxycodone, another powerful opioid, to take the edge off when you get home. The real danger in nootropics is that they might really unlock your full potential, as long as you keep taking them, and all your peers keep taking them. And this full potential will be measured within the narrow confines of a culture that fetishizes efficiency to the point of self-abuse. Or, if you want to be more efficient at work, you could stop taking so many YouTube breaks. On second thought, keep watching, take the drugs. But seriously, widespread use of nootropics could be like how smartphones make a lot of things easier and more efficient, but they also erode the boundary between work and the rest of our lives. What if, to keep up with the expectation of bosses and clients in the future, workers feel the need to take smart drugs to sustain that lifestyle? I mean, do we really want to become mentats from Dune?
It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is by the juice of safu that thoughts acquire speed, the lips acquire stains, the stains become a warning. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion.
But on the other hand, I bet that guy gets a lot of programming done. So what do you think of nootropics? Would you take smart drugs? Leave your comments below. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.